You're listening to the Platte River Bard.
All right. Hello, and welcome to the Platte River Bard. This is Chris Berger.
And I'm Sherry Berger.
And today we are here with Josh Peyton, the star, that's right, John McClane, of a very die-hard Christmas over at the Bluebarn. Welcome, Josh.
Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So, we'll just talk real quick about very die-hard Christmas, just briefly, and then we can circle back to it a little later. But second year in a row now, or second time that you second time you guys are coming back, and it looks like you have most of the cast back. Congratulations! And
yes, thank you.
How has it been second time around?
It's awesome. You know, it doesn't even feel like we went back to rehearsals. It felt like we just went back to a party. We're just having so much fun, and the show had such a great response when we first did it in 2019. We were told very shortly after we finished last time that, like, oh yeah, we're going to be doing this one again. People loved it, so doing it again. We've made a few changes, so it's not an exact carbon copy of the show that we did before, but there's a lot of stuff that, you know, if you saw it before, that, you know, you'll recognize, and of course it's got all your classic Die Hard stuff. I mean, I say Yippee-Ki-Yay, melon farmer. I don't actually say it. You know, come out to the coast, we'll get together a few laughs. So I definitely recommend, if you haven't seen the movie, you have to watch it before you see it.
I would.
Yeah, otherwise you might not get all the jokes if you don't watch the movie.
Oh, that's an interesting thing, because usually people stay away from watching movies, whether they go to watch a show or are in it, they stay away from it.
Oh, this
That's
is
an
a
interesting
total
piece of advice.
Yeah, you need to see the movie to get it.
Neat.
Because it's a ridiculous show. I will say that. I mean, it's funny, it's hilarious, it's fun, but it's just ridiculous.
That's
the
awesome.
Stuff we do.
And now it may not. I didn't check to see it was official, but it's darn close. You guys are almost, if not sold out for all your currently listed performances.
Yes.
I know that you guys have added some performances, so don't know if that's still going to happen or not, but I think currently you guys are almost or completely sold out, so call the box office if you want to try to get in. They may have a couple of seats here and there left, but otherwise, sounds like you guys are full. Good for you.
Yeah, congratulations. That's really something.
Yeah.
So, do you think you'll be back next year too, doing this?
Are there rumblings for next year already?
And if they ask us to come back, I would gladly say yes.
Yeah,
we haven't been told that information yet.
But yeah. It sounds like, I'm sure the rest of the cast is probably with you. It sounds like everybody's having a great time. So
and that's okay if theaters have a regular Christmas show.
Why not?
Why not? If it works for them, so that they can do other things.
It's fun.
And,
I know they've repeated other Christmas shows in the past before. I don't know if they were simultaneous. Like, I think there was a couple years in between them. I'm not entirely sure, but I know that they have done repeat shows before.
Nice.
So
Neat.
it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Love it. Congratulations.
Yeah.
On
Thank you.
Die Hard Christmas again. That's awesome. Now, so Mr. Josh, we actually met up during Christmas Carol more than a few years. I guess it's been more than a few years now.
Carol mates.
And how did you get into theater in the first place? When did you get bit? Were you a little kid, Josh, doing stuff, or was it a little later on?
Yeah, it was probably in grade school.
Oh,
when
yeah?
I found out that I loved it. Yeah. I mean, I honestly am a somewhat introverted, awkward person. But I found out, you know, when I'm on stage, you know, that's a great way for me to connect with people. And, you know, I don't know, I come alive. It's my happy place. So I did a few shows in grade school, then I did them all throughout high school. And, like, immediately after I graduated from high school, I auditioned for Annie at the Omaha Playhouse with Susie Bear Collins, and that started my run there.
Ah,
And then Bluebarn. Die Hard is actually my first show there back in 2019. But you know
okay.
what? I like to stay busy. I love doing it, and I'll keep auditioning.
Yeah. I think you should.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah.
I see that now you went to school here at Creighton, got the old theater degree.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Now, at one point, I know you had a couple of stories about it. You were a tour guide down at Universal
Yes, I
for a
was.
bit, for a while. That had to been a heck of a lot of fun.
Yes, I was, because I could combine my joy of being an actor, because basically when you're a tour guide there, you're doing like a 45-minute to an hour one-man show of the
Oh,
studio lot.
sure.
And also I love movies like so much.
Yes.
So like it wasn't even a job to me. Like I got to hang out on this holy ground of a movie set
Yeah.
talking about Back to the Future and Jurassic Park. I'm like, this is awesome to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And I got to do occasionally some VIP tours with some high profile people, which
Oh,
was always
yes.
weird because I'm like, I'm giving them a tour of a movie set. I'm like, you've already been here.
Yeah.
Why
The
am I
real
giving you a
set,
tour?
probably. Yeah. That's really neat. So, how were they? I gotta ask. Were they nice?
Most of them were. Yes. Yes. I won't name names to who wasn't nice. I don't want to make anyone upset
Fair enough.
because I know they're going to listen to this.
Oh, of course, of course.
Yeah.
They'll find it.
No,
Who
but I
was?
got to meet I got
Yes.
to meet my all well, I didn't get to meet him, but I was within like 50 feet of my all-time hero, Steven Spielberg.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah, they were opening up a new movie theater there, and got to see him there. He was there with like Jordan Peele, and yeah, it
Oh,
was
wow.
fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Sweet.
That would be really neat to meet him.
And also Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
also a fan.
Yes.
So did you do that all year long, or did you just go down to do it during certain times of the year?
Yeah, let's see. I lived there for about maybe a little under 4 years. In my first job at the park, I worked for their Halloween Horror Nights event, and I auditioned to be one of the scare actors in that, but I didn't make that. I wasn't scary enough.
You weren't
Aw.
scary
Well,
enough.
I totally failed the audition because they put a chair in the center of the room and they're like, do whatever you want, scare the chair, just don't touch the chair because, when you work in a haunted house, you're not allowed to touch the patrons.
Yeah.
Right.
I, of course, got into it and like grabbed the chair and then like, oh, I'm immediately disqualified because it's like assaulting someone.
Don't touch
So,
the patrons.
yeah. But I ended up working in the back of the house, like working security for it. And then when we were
Okay.
doing that, we were working on the Universal lot in these haunted houses or haunted mazes. And I heard that they were having auditions soon to be a tour guide there, through a few of my friends down there. And I auditioned for that. That was one of the most stressful audition experiences of my life.
Oh my gosh.
no.
Because it was like a month-long thing where we had
Ah.
to memorize this book, which was like about as thick as War and Peace on all these different movie facts.
Oh.
Oh my
And we would
god.
just
A
we would
book
go
of
up and
movie
down the lot.
trivia, essentially.
Yes,
Oh my
yes,
god.
and go up and down the lot on these trams, and they would vote us off like American Idol.
Oh
Like,
no.
yeah, like everyone stand up,
Oh.
these people stand up, these people sitting, you can go. We're done.
Oh,
They didn't
that's
say it exactly like that, but
that is
yeah,
so awful.
yeah, it's like a month and a half of that, but then I finally got the gig, and
Well, at
Oh.
least you got it.
yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I
Jeez.
guess so. Good Lord.
And this was in Universal in Florida?
No, this was the Universal in California,
California.
where the actual movie studio
Oh,
is.
Yeah,
okay.
Hollywood.
I've only
Yeah.
been to the Florida one, so my
And
mind went there.
and I honestly don't think I got it because I was the most knowledgeable. I think I got it because I was just enthusiastic. I'm like, we'd pull the corner on the tram tour, and I would just get so excited about everything there. And like, okay, we like your enthusiasm. You can stay.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
wow.
That's awesome.
Congratulations. So you did that for 2 years?
About
Ish?
three. About
Almost
3
3
years,
3
yeah.
years? So why did you decide to leave that? That was like so hard to get. Like kind of like
Well,
if
you
you
know, there
leave, you
were
can't come back.
there were a lot of reasons. I mean, it was in California and it was
Yeah.
insanely expensive.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, which was like 2.5 grand a month.
Mm.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know. And all my family's here. My support system is here, and
Everybody's back here. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And gosh, with the pandemic that happened, like so many of my friends that worked at the park, lost their jobs, and
Mm.
Oh,
a
I'm
lot of them
sure.
are back at the park now. But when all that happened, a lot of people did some soul searching and went off to do different things, and that
Mm-hmm.
probably would have happened to me too. I would have moved back here anyway with COVID.
Yeah.
True. 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 True.
Yeah, you just got out and got to jump on it because I think I probably met you for the first time right after this then. It was probably 2018, wasn't
Yep,
it?
I think it
Or
was
was it
the
before that?
2018 Christmas Carol.
That must
Was
have been
that-
it. It must have been
Okay.
18 then. Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Huh.
Yeah, because I was Bob.
Yeah, so you came back here and did Christmas Carol right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I moved back January of 2018.
There we go.
Wow. What
Yeah,
fun.
it was a horrible time to move back, driving from California back to Nebraska in January.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh,
That's
yes.
true.
Oh. Talk about a shock.
Yeah.
So now you've been kind of busy these past few years. Aside from Die Hard, every time I see you, these last few years, I'm just like, God, look at all the dialogue he has. You did that one man show
Yes,
where you
fully
played
committed.
fully committed. What was like 37
Well, okay, here's the deal. It
characters
is advertised as 40
or
characters,
40 characters there.
but that was how it was first released when they did it, I think, like when they first wrote the play, before it was like big on Broadway. And then they kind of cut down a few of the characters, and some of them aren't actual characters, or like voice machines, or like maybe the sound of an animal or something like that.
Okay.
There's one character that we cut out completely because it didn't make sense for our show.
Okay.
Jesse Tyler Ferguson originated the role on Broadway, and he's from Modern Family. So there was a Sofia Vergara character in there.
Oh,
And it
okay.
was just funny because he was doing it, but we did it, and we
Right.
did it with a few test audiences. Like, this isn't funny,
They
so we're going to
didn't-
take it out.
Okay, fair
So yeah,
enough. Yeah.
so over 30 some characters. Yeah.
Good
Wow.
Lord.
Well, but he's the man that has memorized the book of movie and TV facts.
That's right.
So dialogue's not a problem,
That's right.
obviously.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It's nothing. How many pages was that? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but honestly, remembering the lines, the dialogue wasn't that difficult. And the way I try to explain it to people is like, you ever have a conversation or an argument with someone in your head and you got it all rehearsed out,
Yes.
but you actually have the argument and then it kind of changes.
Mhm.
But it's great with this because it's a script, it's not going to change. So I'm just remembering like this dialogue, this argument in my head, just talking to myself. The hard thing was remembering the order of all those characters.
Of who's
Yeah.
speaking when. Yeah.
Oh yeah, who's speaking when? And there was over 200 some sound cues with phones ringing, intercom buzzes, and trying to remember who was on the other end of the line.
Wow.
That was
man.
the hard part.
Oh, man. Well, heard nothing but great stuff about it. Everybody that I talked to that went to see it absolutely adored it. So, congratulations on that, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
It
And
looked like it.
it was great to do it. This was before the when I auditioned, it was before the vaccine rollout started, and the country
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
everyone was still in turmoil. I mean, it kind of still is, but
Right.
Well, yeah.
Right.
so I was constantly thinking, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? That show we did in an entire, like a glass box. I felt like Hannibal Lecter. So,
Excellent. Well, you did
That's
an excellent
hilarious.
job with it, and then I saw what was the next one you did was the letters.
Dear Jack, dear
Dear
Louise.
Jack, dear Louise. I knew I was going to
Yeah,
mess
at
that up.
OCP.
With just you and one other person.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, me and Sarah Schrader.
Schrader, that's right.
Yes, and
Sarah
that was her
Schrader.
very first show at the Playhouse, and
Oh, her
she's
first
just
Playhouse show.
yeah,
Okay.
she was absolutely amazing in the show. I loved working with her. That show, it was crazy. Ken Ludwig, who also wrote Murder on the Orient Express, he was the playwright of that show.
Yes.
It's almost like he wrote that specifically for COVID, but he wrote it beforehand. But it worked so well because it's just two people on stage. They never interact. They're in two separate spots of the stage, reading letters back and forth.
Right.
They only like interact once, or like touch and meet once at the very end when they meet each other for the first time.
Okay.
But it was perfect to do in that space, and that was actually more difficult to memorize than the fully committed script, because that was just like a series of monologues, and it wasn't modern speech
Ooh.
either. It was back from like the 1940s, and
Sure.
which isn't that not too modern. What am I trying to say here? It's not that difficult of speech, but
It's different though. It's still
Yeah.
it's slightly different. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
and my grandfather got to come see the show, and he was
Oh, cool.
in the Army in World War II. He's 94 years old. I'm
Oh
glad he
my
got to see
gosh.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
how neat.
Oh, how cool is that?
I bet he was really touched to be able to see that.
He was.
as well.
He loved the music in it. We got to use, the music from that era.
Oh,
And I could
Yeah.
even even hear him a couple times singing
Ah,
while
that's
I was
awesome.
on stage.
What a neat memory for you. That's
How
that's a
awesome is
special
that?
memory.
And my mom was like trying to shush him, but everyone in the audience was loving it.
Oh,
Like, he's enjoying himself. Just keep going.
that's neat.
Yes.
So he didn't have to travel far then. He's not in
No.
California. He's close.
No.
He's
He's
good.
good.
As well. Good.
So before you went out to California, you were probably doing shows around town as well, right? Because if you graduated from Creighton 2009, right?
Yeah. What was your first encounter at the Playhouse? What was your first encounter with Carol?
With Christmas Carol?
Yeah, it wasn't 18, was it?
No, that was, I think, did it Jerry's very first year.
Oh,
So in
wow. Okay.
2006. So I came on
Okay.
right after Dick Boyd had left.
Okay.
Oh.
And they didn't, I mean, as you know, it's kind of been the same for, every year, but
Mhm.
they did a lot of revamping that year with costumes, with sets. So
Oh, yeah.
there's a few different special effects stuff that they did that was different. So it felt like doing a new production.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that year I was Dick Wilkins for that show. And then after that, I did it 4 or 5 more times, and I played Fred, and I loved playing Fred.
Yes.
I
You're
would
an
go
awesome
back and play
Fred.
that role as many times as they let me.
You're great at Fred.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent.
And Jerry's
excellent.
just so fun anyway to work with as well. I
Jerry's
know.
a hoot.
But mostly before I went to California, I did all of the musicals. Not I didn't do all of the musicals, but that was the only thing I did. I never auditioned for any of the plays. I never thought I could do that.
Oh,
And
really?
it wasn't until when I got back in 2018, or was it 2019, when they did Of Mice and Men. That was the very first play that I had done at the Playhouse.
Really?
Yeah.
First non-singing production.
Right.
Wow.
And I don't even consider myself that great of a singer or dancer. I just always was drawn to the musicals.
Yeah, Chris is too, and he's done.
Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, and then I
Yeah.
complain that I'm always in something where I have to sing, and it's my own fault.
Well, but there was one that he thought he thought wasn't going to have any music in it, and then they ended up changing the script and making him sing.
Well,
so it was kind
yeah,
of
they
funny.
ended up putting it in the song. Yeah, yeah.
Here's the song we want you to sing.
Yeah.
This is.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh no, I thought it was all right. I was singing this too. All right, fine.
Also, and I didn't bring it up, Die Hard does have music in it too.
Does it have
Yeah.
music?
It does, yes.
Oh, fantastic.
And there's some
Interesting.
classic Christmas songs and some ones that were written specifically for this show.
Yeah, oh, neat.
That is excellent. I had not heard that it had music in it. That's wonderful.
That is wonderful. No wonder it's becoming a Christmas favorite.
And
So
it's not a Christmas movie, it's the Christmas movie.
See, according to a lot of people, that's the big thing. Is Die Hard is now becoming a lot of people's
I
favorite
don't
Christmas
know. I
movie.
mean, I really love Ralphie and Christmas Story.
Yeah,
I mean, you can. I just want people to recognize that Die Hard is a Christmas movie because so many people say it's not, and I'm like, yes, it is.
Oh, I'm
It
for
takes
it.
place. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
There's Christmas music in it. There's a Santa, sort of. One of the
Yeah.
he puts a Santa
puts
hat on
that-
one of
yeah.
the dead terrorists.
Yeah.
John's wife's name is Holly,
Yeah.
as in the holly and the ivy.
There we go. See?
Totally Christmas movie.
Good guys win, bad guys lose.
Exactly.
Merry Christmas.
That's hilarious.
I love it.
So, when you were out in California, did you go on any other auditions besides working for Universal?
Well, I got involved with Central Casting, which is like their big network for actors that want to be extras in movies and TV shows. I got a few things from that, and being a tour guide, we got invited to do some audience participation stuff, either on The Voice or a TV show called Home and Family. But I don't know. I didn't go out for the big auditions as much as I probably should have. Never really worked my way to getting an agent or going to any acting classes. I tried to pick up as much work at Universal as I could. Like I was calling in every day for work at Universal because it's a theme park. It's a seasonal job,
Right.
so there wasn't always guaranteed hours. But I was always, you make it clear to them, call me.
Right.
First,
Right.
I want to work. But yeah, I did a few extra things there. I was on NCIS, I think, for a couple of episodes.
Ah.
Don't ask me what episode. I've never even watched the show, but I was willing to shave my head at that point, and I looked like a good Navy MP. So
Oh, how neat.
Oh, there you go.
yeah.
Excellent. Well, for the NCIS viewers,
Yeah.
there's a Josh
Yes.
Peyton Easter egg in
can
there
s-
somewhere.
Yeah.
You can see me in the background carrying a toolbox.
All right. Expertly carrying a toolbox.
Chris did one of those Department of Kansas drivers videos when he was young.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
the driving instructor videos.
Yeah, they got
you-
sent into like driver's ed classes all over the state.
Wow.
Just ridiculous on how to buy
Oh,
a
so
used
you
car.
You were in those educational work videos?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on how to buy a used car, and it's so boring and ridiculous.
And he says all you need are 4 wheels and a radio.
It was yes, I was supposed to be the cool guy, and then there was a nerdy guy, and we were going to try to buy a used car. And yes. And I'm like, wow, so this is fun. Where does this go? He goes, oh, this is going out to all of the driver's ed programs in Missouri. I'm like, oh no.
There's Chris's Easter eggs.
I'm sure that's long gone by now.
I think I am
I
in
have
a training video for Universal too, actually.
Excellent.
Yes, I think I am. I don't know if it was just a still or a video of something that I did, but someone took a photo of me because they were leading a training class, and they're like, "Hey, look, you're still here."
Yay. Oh, I
Isn't that
love it.
fun?
That's just
Yeah.
hilarious. Stuff like that's hilarious.
The stuff you do just to
Yeah.
try
Hey,
new
paid.
stuff out. Yeah,
Yeah,
get
man.
paid. That's great.
It paid well. It did. It only took like a weekend. So yeah, cool.
So what roles are on your life list?
Like my dream role.
Yeah.
You got to do a
Well-
Mice and Men, which is a pretty great role.
Yeah.
That you got to do at the Playhouse. That's a pretty great one. I don't know. What are you thinking
Yeah,
about?
that was a really great role. I'm glad I got the chance to do that. If I had to, all-time role that I want the most is it's a musical, and it's to play Arnold Cunningham in the Book of Mormon. That Josh Gad originally played on
Yes,
Broadway.
that's right. I guess that was him. Yes.
That's a role that I want. If I ever play, not a role, but I want to be. I love comedies, so I want to be in the play that goes wrong. You ever seen that?
Oh, yeah.
I have not seen it. I have heard
I've heard
much
of it,
about it.
yeah.
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
I
read some
haven't been
reviews
able
on
to
it.
get to a production of it yet. No, I have not.
Oh, it's so funny, and you can watch little clips of it on YouTube.
Yes.
But yeah, just imagine doing like a community theater style show, and everything that could go wrong in the production happens in that show.
Yeah.
Like by the end, I think the set like literally falls to pieces.
The whole
on and
thing just
around
falls
them.
down.
It's so funny.
Oh, my gosh.
Love to see it. Well, my friend, thank you so much for taking a little time and talking with us. I've been wanting to get together and just yak with you a little bit, and I thought,
Stupid pandemic.
Well, and fortunately for you, you keep doing stuff.
Yeah.
So you keep giving me opportunities to talk to you, and I thought the Die Hard Christmas was perfect, especially because this is the second go around, and it's nice to see that it was so popular the first time. You guys are doing it a second time, and apparently popular again the second time, either sold out or very, very nearly sold out. Probably by the time you hear this, it'll be all sold out.
Yeah.
So congratulations on
Thank you.
a very, once again, very, very die-hard Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and it was great being here. Thank you for setting this up. This was fun.
You're always welcome.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Josh Peyton.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you for listening and supporting the arts in the Platte River area and beyond. Please subscribe to our podcast so you are sure to catch all of our future episodes and join us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Music for this podcast was used with permission by Screaming Skull Productions. See you next time on the Platte River Bard.